How do you keep something secret? You hide it in plain sight.
July 8, 1947. The flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If you look at the document sent to J. Edgar Hoover, 3 so-called flying saucers had been recovered in New Mexico. It has become the #1 document viewed on the FBI website.
There have been ET visitation, and people have been attempting to conceal this knowledge.
We actually did recoveries of bodies that were involved with some of these crashes.
I said, well, you're going to tell the public about it? And he says, no, we don't tell the public about this.
There began to be this bifurcation, this separation between legitimate national security and military operations and the deep black programs that are unacknowledged. If people think that it's just the UFO issue, they're gravely mistaken.
This is one of the ultimate secrets that needs to be exposed.
If there was a project that was illegal, the president doesn't know it's occurring, who's going to stop this from happening?
The moon of Mars. There's a very unusual structure. When people find out about that, they're going to say, who put that there?
These deeper black programs have the technology to hoax an alien invasion. They could do it, and they could do it in a way that's 100% believable.
It's very easy to set up a false flag operation, concoct all kinds of false information. They have people embedded in all the major media to change and affect stories. If you tell anyone about this project, this bullet has your name on it, and it will find you.
The strategy was that first the Russians were the enemy, then terrorists would be identified, then third world country crazies. The last card is the alien card, and all of it is a lie. A lie.
Hey, what is up, guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. The trailer that you just saw is from an upcoming film called Unacknowledged and comes courtesy of a well-known, well-respected ufologist by the name of Dr. Stephen GREER. Now, maybe some of you have heard of him. If you're new to the channel or to the topic of ufology, well, let's just say Dr. GREER was out there grinding and digging up information when I was still in middle school. Alright, so he has been around for years and is well known as the father of the global disclosure movement and is the founder of the Disclosure Project, the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence, and the Orion Project. Now, many of you may have heard of the Disclosure Project, which Dr. GREER set up and presided over back in 2001, where they held this groundbreaking National Press Club event, wherein which 20 military, government, intelligence, and corporate witnesses presented compelling testimony regarding the existence of extraterrestrial life forms visiting the planet and the reverse engineering of the energy and propulsion systems of these craft. We've actually featured many of these clips here on the channel, especially when talking about the bases on the backside of the moon and the former NASA techs talking about them airbrushing them out. And it is thanks to Dr. GREER that we have such video footage and testimony. And so for many years, long before Secureteam came around, Dr. GREER was spearheading this search for truth that we all seek. He has contacts and has spoken with countless military personnel and some very high-up people in the government and politics, and has even worked with former presidents. And he's put out some really great documentaries on the subject of what he's found, whether it be extraterrestrials or the fact that the government has for quite some time been in possession of secret technology, propulsion systems, alternative energy, that is likely hundreds of years ahead of what we're using now and could revolutionize the ways and means with which we use energy today, and if made public and utilized would literally save the planet and break our bond and addiction to oil and natural gas with which we've fought countless wars over. And so today I want to talk to you guys about his newest film, Unacknowledged, which isn't even out yet. But thankfully, I happened to be contacted by Dr. GREER's people a couple of weeks ago, and it turns out that Dr. GREER is a big fan of Secureteam. And so I was able to secure a private screening of this documentary, which I actually just watched tonight. Now, they did just hold a huge film premiere in Los Angeles last night on the 24th, which I was actually invited to, but unfortunately could not make it due to scheduling conflicts. And so they sent me a private screener to watch, and I told them, I'd love to check it out and love to do a review of it. And all I can say is that the film was nothing short of amazing. And the reason that I want you guys to know about it is because it very nicely packages a lot of the things that we've discussed on the channel, and a lot of the things that many of you who are new to the topic may not know about yet will be able to learn by watching this film. It really does put everything that you've missed out on into perspective and gives you a very well-rounded idea as to what's going on, what we know, what the government knows, what we're not being told, and the overwhelming mountain of evidence that supports the idea that we are not alone and that we have been visited for many, many years. So in the film, Dr. GREER, who, by the way, was a surgeon, he was an ER doctor, saving people's lives, operating on gunshot victims and stuff like that. But he gave all of that up to pursue this love of his, and that really does show in the documentary. I've rarely spoken about Mr. GREER, and honestly, you guys know that there's very few people who I collaborate with, who I talk about, very, very few. Because in this field, you don't know who to trust, you don't know who's out there just to catch headlines and sell books and do tours and this and that. And there's plenty of disinformation artists, as we know as well. But as I learned more about Mr. GREER and have watched his films and reviewed his huge breadth of experience over the years, it became apparent to me that Dr. GREER is one of the few who has truly been a pioneer for this research. And that is plain to see in this new film, which goes into detail, discussing the alien phenomenon and the proof that exists to corroborate it. It goes on to talk about the Roswell crash and the alien beings that were recovered, the never-ending disinformation campaign that has been utilized by the government for years to downplay the evidence of aliens and to turn it into a laughingstock. But it also provides a wealth of evidence, whether it be video footage, eyewitness testimony, military pilots speaking about their encounters, radar footage, the shutting down of nuclear weapons by these things, and it really is eye-opening. So yeah, I just finished watching it, and am actually in the process of setting up an interview with Dr. GREER, who wants to come on the channel and talk about the film and talk about his work. We're going to be doing that, and we're working on some other exclusive things in the future. So I want you guys to look out for that. That's going to be coming very soon. I also want you guys to know that this film, although it's not out yet, it is going to be released worldwide on all platforms on May 9th. And so, yeah, that'll be like the DVD. You can get it on iTunes, and apparently if you get the iTunes version, it comes with 5 hours of extra exclusive bonus material. So that's pretty cool. And like I said, I wanted to do a review of the film. That's something I've rarely done on the channel. You guys know I always like to recommend good films. And, it just happened to be by luck that I got in touch with Dr. GREER after hearing about this film, and they were cool enough to give me an advanced screening, because apparently they've recognized the work that Secureteam has been doing. And, I told them, like I tell everyone else, I'll do anything I can to help further the popularity of this research and to open as many eyes and minds as possible. And so, I was honored to be able to watch the film. I'm honored to be setting up this interview. It'll be the first real interview I've ever done on the channel. So I think it's going to be really cool. And, hopefully we'll be able to work further with Dr. GREER and other researchers to get more answers. All right, so with that, thank you guys for stopping by today. Big thanks to The Orchard, which is the distribution company that is behind the film Unacknowledged, and to Dr. GREER for inviting me out to Los Angeles and for allowing me to check this film out and share it with you guys. So be sure to stick around. I've got new videos on the way, new UFO sightings, and I think 2017 is going to be a big year.